Good morning, pregame crew. How are you doing? It's Thursday, August 31st, 2023. It is 6:20 a.m. Mountain Time, 8:20 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome to the show. Thank you for being here. I officially get started in 9 minutes where we have data. We have PCE. We have initial jobless claims. We have gobbledygook after that. Let's see. 9:45 Chicago PMI. So we have lots of data today, and tomorrow we have non-farm payrolls. We change this to only 3-star events. Tomorrow we have non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate, and ISM manufacturing PMI. And then today, jobless claims and PCE in 8 minutes. Check all your orders. We are up against a key resistance right now on ES, and I would look for that to potentially hold, being extended into this data. We will see. And that level is 454475, 454475. That is the key resistance. We did not get over it overnight. So I'm going to say hello to my friends and do an audio visual check. Okay, thank you, Rob. Hey, Shake and Bake. Night Truck, Marvin. Hey, Tom, Clifton, Hector, Topher. Hey, B-Hawk, Mike, Coda Blue, Sam, Sir Fernando, Donald, Apollo, Mal. Scotty doesn't know. No, Scotty, you say every morning, good morning, Lori. You don't just say GM. I'm kidding. Hey, Decipher. You know what, Decipher? Compliments and flattery will get you everywhere. Yes, I will look at SMH for you. Hey, Greg, Bowtie, Bass, Diego. Hey, Tess, Al. Your greatest fan, ABC. Brian, let me go back to the top. Shake and Bake. Lori's going to give us knowledge. Ugh, share knowledge. I hope I can today. Okay, SMH is first. I listened to the whole song of the Rich Men of Richmond, that video that's viral, and now that song is stuck in my head. Oh well, I guess it could be worse things stuck in my head. So we made a higher high on this side. Typically with a cup and handle, you get closer to a double top and then you pull back and bull flag. But I would say this still has the psychology of it. Daily, we are up against resistance 15659. I'm going to set alert there. I'm going to try to set an alert there. Uh, 156.50, make it easy. Jim Ron, I've never heard of him. Oh, thank you. Gokhan, Toprock. Thank you. Good morning to you. Shabazz, you didn't watch yesterday's show because I talked about seasonality. I don't give a lot of thought to seasonality. I think that every month is a standalone event, every day, every hour. We have way too many different variables impacting the market at various times. I think to have any type of consistent reliability on what season it is. Okay, back to SMH. 156.59 is what we need to clear to get that daily higher high. I look at this and I think, man, that sure was a big pullback, so a lower low is the more likely scenario. But look at the RSI. I think sometimes, I don't think sometimes, I know that I sometimes put limiting beliefs on what a stock can or can't do. I tell y'all we need to have imagination as to what the stock can do on the right side of the chart. We have to have imagination. This thing has room to run. It does not have to necessarily stop at 156.59. I think that's a self-limiting belief. I think ES needs to clear that 45.44 in order to SMH to clear the 156.59. But if SMH were to clear its resistance before ES, I would assume it would drag ES with it because SMH is so powerful. Okay, what's the next one? J&J. J&J is stuck below the daily 50 MA. Considering what we've been doing in the overall market, this is a sad state of affairs for J&J. They've had news, it looks like the last couple weeks. We are inside last week's range. We are, look at this, we are stuck between the 50 and the 200 MA. Think of both of them being levers and just squeezing price down. That can happen when you're trapped below key moving averages and you're pinched in between. I like to call it the pinch. And then you can get pinched out to the upside or to the downside, but it can have some nice follow through. Overall, hourly squeeze, sideways action, not very constructive considering where the market has been. Yep, JB. Hey, Trey. Yep, JB. MSOS, it's too soon to tell. Absolutely too soon to tell. And yes, Rob is right. Night Truck is saying, watch Dan's video from last night, the market recap video. He went over what he'd like to see from these MJ names to assume that the temporary bottom is in. And it all comes down to trend changes. We need the trend changes. I think MSOS is a Queen of the Mountain trade today, and I'm looking for back burners. We double top with 650, 648. I mean, just an hourly trend change would be a nice start. So we'll see what MSOS can do today. And the bulls have any staying power. Interesting. I'm writing it down. Yep, NO knows. I go over ES officially in 2 minutes. I just quickly give you a level. I jump on the mic to warm up, and then I start around 6:30 my time, and I go for about 25 minutes. I do 25 charts in 25 minutes. So I spend most of my time on ES. ALGN. That's nice. Rounded bottom here, squeezing, held the daily 50 RSI. Weekly has a squeeze. Nice chart. I would wait for a pullback buy if you wanted a long. Okay, let's go back to ES as we prepare for data in 1 minute and 20 seconds. On the daily chart, we still have room to move. When you have this big of a pullback like we did from the high of last Thursday to the low of Friday, and you bounce this hard, typically, or you bounce, you expect a lower high because the size of the retracement. Well, not only did we get a higher high, we cleared it and then some. 454, let's call it 4545. That's going to be the key level today that bulls need to break over. And I want you to look at the RSI. It is not extended on the daily chart. 4 hour, slightly. Hourly, it cooled off a little bit overnight, but this thing is poised for a potential another leg up. Stay with the trend until it changes. Stay in back burner mode. That's my plan for the day. So your last support is 45.23. 45.23, that's the low overnight. Happened at midnight last night, my time. So let's see what the data brings. Just give it about 18 seconds. As far as jobless claims, we're anticipating 235,000, which we've had two poor job numbers back to back. And PCE, they're looking for 4.2%. And the Fed, Powell has talked specifically about how important PCE is. All right, data is out. Spinning plates, that's pretty funny. Okay, we have a downward move initially. We have not broken 45.23, so healthy so far. Now clear 45.45. Watching this for just a second. Thank you, Donald B. Good morning, DA Croster and Card Lady and Donald. Okay, what's the data look like? 228,000 was actual. We were anticipating 235. PCE came in as expected. Now, for me, it's all about 45.23 and 45.45. And we mark off the high and the low of the reaction after like the first 5 minutes. And then if whichever reaction breaks first is typically the general direction we can anticipate. Lots of data, lots of data. This is the last day of August. Remember, today we'll finish up these monthly candles and how they close. I get all these thoughts in my head at once and I'm like, I don't have time to do all of that. But I'll do my best with what I can do with the time that I have. Isn't that the story of life? Just do the best you can with the time that you have. Good morning. Welcome to the pregame show. This is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori, and I'm part of the Chart Guys community, and we teach technical analysis. If you're going to give me a follow on Twitter, that'd be lovely, at Chart Gal Lori. I go over economic data, and we have pretty much all the data out the way for today, the 3-star events, and tomorrow we have ISM, unemployment, and non-farm payroll. So more data on the way. What I do here every morning is I show you this table, and I have some notes that are off screen. I copy and paste for TCG members only when I am done. So Chart Guy Lamont has asked me anything at 3 p.m. today, and I will put that in chat before I am done. And Jason, if you're listening, if you could put it in chat, and if you don't have time, that's fine. I'll do it in just a second. But I love to ask me anything because it just doesn't have a typical format, and they could be, people ask very interesting questions. Inquiring minds want to know. All right. So we're looking more bullish than bearish. Potential 12-hour bull flag. Got to get through 45.45. Dollar showed a little spunk overnight. That's the only bearish, one of the two bearish indicators I saw overnight was that the dollar was doing a pretty good bounce, and we'll take a look at that. And Hang Seng was slightly red overnight. Let's go look at the dollar. Almighty dollar. So this could be an inverse head and shoulders forming. Let me see if it looks a little more clear on the 2-hour. I guess so. Either one. So I just want to make note of this pattern. I want to make sure that the dollar is staying down. We need the dollar to stay down in order for the market to get continuation, in my opinion. Again, 45.45 is that clear resistance, and we're yet to get over it on this reaction. Thank you, Rav. Thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. I've got the best people that I work with, just awesome team. And that's what you get when you join the Chart Guys. We have an amazing community. It's so funny, Rav, husbands and wives. I told my husband he had to video me yesterday because Rav needs some film for some videos, and he turned his phone sideways. I'm like, don't do that. You got to do it north-south and do the videos, turn it in. And Rav's like, no, we need it sideways. So now I have to go back to my husband and tell him he was right and I was wrong. And that's always fun. So today is back burner day. That's what I'm calling today again. Stay with the trend that is. Don't fight the trend. So you are better served as far as probabilities. Trend traders have better and higher odds of winning trades staying with the trend. Counter trend traders have lower odds of winning trades, yet typically better risk to reward. So a higher probability of getting stopped out, but if you nail that top or that bottom, then you typically have a better risk to reward. What does that mean from where we are on ES right now? 45.45. So you can be one, I'm not finishing sentences, but y'all are used to that. So you can do one of two approaches today, in my opinion. If you are wanting to be aggressive, you want to be bearish against 45.45 on ES. If you want to be conservative and line up the odds in your favor, you want to be a pullback bull buyer. All right. So those are the two approaches today. Is you can be an aggressive bear and top fish. And I like to top fish on counter trend trades with options because the odds are against me. And then I have limited amount of risk. And I know that if I buy $500 in puts or $500 in calls, that's the most I can lose. And I like to do that versus just straight out shorting in futures against a level that is showing no signs of holding because we have all the bull momentum going into it. So that's kind of how I will trade futures versus options. Is if I think it's a lower odds trade, but it could be a nice risk to reward, I switch from futures to options. All right. On the daily chart, we cleared the 50 MA. You better bet your bottom dollar that the market, if and when it pulls back, okay, that's not going to work. Turn that magnet off and it'll work. So let's extend this 50 MA. If price comes back to touch that 50 MA, typically the first test is a good buying opportunity. So I'm going to clear all this off. Look over here. When ES tested the 50 MA for the first time, it's typically a good area to short. Sure enough, we pulled back and we came back over it again. Every time we test a moving average over 2 times, 3 to 4 times, you are weakening that level as a resistance. Well, now we've gotten over it. And so the first test of support is typically a good buy area. Now, as a wannabe bull, because I make more money in bull markets. It's just the way it's been. And I recognize that in myself. And I've actually made a concerted effort to be a better oversold bounce trader. And I have traded over the last 3 weeks, Riot and AMC. And I've been bringing these to your attention as well. Those have been my oversold bounce traders. But overall, I'm more comfortable in a bull market. And I understand that I can make money in any market. It's just a generalization that I like a bull market better. So as a bull, I want to see these EMAs and moving averages, I want to see them turn up. I want to see that 50 MA, the slope of the EMA turn up. But look at this acute angle. It's so cute. Acute angle in these EMAs that are crossing right now on the daily. How many times have I talked to you about EMA crossing as a potential edge where you could just trade EMA crosses? Look at this one back here. Let's see, where did we officially crossed right there. Let's measure that from here. You could have gotten 15% of gains just doing daily EMA crosses. Now here, the gains wouldn't have been that good because they would have been fine. Well, what's fine? 4%, let's say you waited for it to cross back up, you would have gotten almost 2%. That's not shabby. That'll pay the bills. That will pay the bills. So we are getting a daily 8 and 21 EMA cross. We're over the 50 MA. We never even came close to broaching or losing the 200 MA. Tommy K, it's so hard to do chart requests. I just don't have the time to do all the chart requests. I try to do as many as I can. Okay, NASDAQ, your next resistance on NASDAQ, 15610. 15610. We crossed over the daily 50 MA. That is notable. On a pullback to the 50 MA, you better bet I would be looking for a pullback buy to that 50 MA. Again, I'm going to say it over and over and over, hopefully enough. Back burners, back burners, back burners. I'm staying in back burner mode. If I see 5 and 15 minute oversold bounces in these names that have had outsized moves, I'm going to be all over it like white on rice. Yeah, that's what my dad used to say. I don't know. Okay, RTY. RTY, we had this big breakout when we got the, let me go to IWM. It's so much easier for me to show you. This was our beach ball play. I showed you that Friday we dipped below the 200 MA. We got a lower low and bulls bought the dip. And Monday I said, I'm bullish. In the room, I said, I'm buying. So I haven't updated these lines. So just know that. We are at the 50 MA from below on IWM. That could serve as resistance because this is our first test. So it could serve as resistance. That's not a good look for IWM. This is the first day in 3 days straight I've had IWM as one of my Queen of the Mountain trades. I don't have it as a Queen of the Mountain trade because we're up against this daily 50 MA overhead. Hello, hello. Okay, PLTR, I can tell you, Tom, has been doing great. Okay, let me get back to where I was. RTY, 50 MA overhead on a pullback, plenty of room for a higher low buy, and I like that. So if we could get 15-minute oversold during regular trading hours, or even first hourly oversold during regular trading hours, I would like a Russell pullback buy. There are 315 of my closest friends on this show with 113 likes. If you could hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. Looking at the Dow, we have a level from over here. It's not a pivot, but it's a level, 35190. 35190. We've cleared the 50 MA. Plenty of room for a daily higher low. So we're getting an upper wick. Let me go back to ES on this reaction here. Yeah, we're getting a little upper wick here. Let's see if this will be the beginning of some meaningful consolidation. And that would make a lot of sense to me. If I were to break up this morning, the AM and then the PM, I would be looking bearish this morning, just looking for some healthy consolidation. I'm just doing X's and Y's because it's hard to write with this thing. And look more bullish in the afternoon because pullbacks are for buying until bears prove otherwise. And we're going to watch for trend changes. Oh, this is a good visualizing the right side of the chart. Oh. All right, on SPY, we can talk about gaps as well, but let's forget about the gaps right now. If the bears were to come in this morning and bring it straight down to yesterday's low on the 5-minute chart without a trend change and then bounce, those bounces are for buying because they haven't changed the trend yet. So you can look for that 5-minute higher low and see if you can nail the hourly higher low or the 4-hour higher low. So if the bears are to bring it down, they need a 5-minute trend change to the downside in order to be believed. Otherwise, they are liars, pants on fire because they have to prove it. Okay, so now we're looking at SPY. It's a gap. If you're an ES trader, go look at SPY, the ETF. If we pull back and we are unable to penetrate yesterday's range and we turn and burn, that is a long signal. And if you're trading ES futures, you can use the SPY gap rules to then initiate a trade. I feel super sassy this morning. Don't know what's going on with that. Hang Seng, slightly red. DAX is green. Bitcoin, Lord have mercy. You can't hold on to jack. Okay, on the daily chart, this is what's happening. Bitcoin, well, I don't know why Bitcoin likes to be the poster child of this ism that I talked to y'all about for the last 2.5 years. The drunk girl walking home from the bar, and you're like, what the heck is she talking about? We're on our second daily inside bar on Bitcoin. When you have tightening ranges, you have volume drop off. Volume drops off when you have tightening ranges because the big dogs say, I'm not getting involved in this choppy mess. I'm going to wait to see who's going to make it out of this alive, bulls or bears, and I'm going to jump on that bandwagon. So we have a tightening range on Bitcoin. What does that mean for lower time frames? You get this mishigas. Look at this. Lower low, higher high, lower low. Let me make you so dizzy you have to take Zofran. These are probes of liquidity. Look how liquidity has dried up. Look at this breakout. That's major liquidity. When you get whipped around like freaking Willow Smith's song, I whip my hair back and forth, it's usually because of low liquidity. And that's the environment we're in right now with Bitcoin. I am still leaning more bullish than bearish on Bitcoin. All right. Ethereum. Second daily inside bar. What do we have on lower time frames? We have mess. Well, at least they didn't break to a low or low. Yeah, they didn't break to a low or low. But we have these misdirections on lower time frame. That red message is bothering me. Let me make sure everything's okay. Yeah, Tom, everything's fine. I don't know if I said anything that made you think I'm not okay, but I'm good. Okay. When I get quiet, it usually means I'm reading the chat room because I want to be nice and respectful and address any major concerns that are coming up or big questions where I'm confusing several of you maybe. But when I do that, I lose track for just a second. All right, gold. Daily inside bar at the daily 50 MA. How did I know it was a daily inside bar? I swear I didn't even know this before I zoomed out. But look at that. Isn't that very similar to Bitcoin? We have misdirection on lower time frames. I am more of a bear up here on gold at the daily 50 MA, and I would want to be a bull down here at 1950 on a pullback buy, looking for that daily higher low. So then you switch to back burner mode and you say, okay, have we had a 15? We have not had a 15-minute oversold since we got the big breakout on Tuesday. So I go set that alert, tell me when RSI gets to 30. So back burner mode on gold, looking for a daily higher low. Short term, I am bearish with a 200 MA overhead, and we're fighting with a 50 MA. Oil. Hey, Michael and Ann Hawkins. Hello to your 14-year-old daughter. That's a nice reminder so I can keep things as PG as possible. I was thinking the other day I let a curse word slip out on the webinar, and I was like, what if my preacher was listening? And that's country talk for your pastor or whatever, your spiritual leader. Like, what if they were listening to me? Like, I need to hold myself to a higher standard, but I'm human and all that stuff. And I do love to have fun. Weekly, we still got to squeeze, folks. This is a weekly bull flag. You can't keep a good man down. What is that? Is that an Alabama song? About daddy rolling along? Okay, I'm digressing. Okay, so weekly bull flag, daily higher high, and I would even say an uptrend. We talked about it holding the 50 RSI yesterday. We have a daily squeeze. Y'all look at the hourly chart. This is a beautiful chart, and I'm going to jump right now to my Queen of the Mountain trade for the month of September right now. I've never done this. I've never done a featured stock, and I haven't even released it to the Swing Report members. Oops, hit the microphone. Sorry. I will most likely release it, and I'll probably give them an extra one, but you're going to see it here first. CVX. This name is positioned very well for damage to the bears. Look at this squeeze. We are going sideways here on the weekly chart. Look at this squeeze holding the 50 RSI. I mean, pinching. Look at the 4 hour. Look at this sideways action, pressure building. If you are an Instapot cooker, you know what Instapot does. It applies pressure and cooks the food faster. Well, this goose is getting cooked over here. Hourly squeeze. 15 minutes squeeze. Let me do that again, y'all. Is it on the monthly too? Monthly squeeze has started. Weekly has been squeezing since February. Daily has been squeezing since May. 4 hour has been squeezing since August 21st. Y'all get it? Hourly has been squeezing for over a week, for 8 days. It had a small bull break and then came right back into range. With oil, with this weekly bull flag and this weekly squeeze, do you see how I'm connecting all these dots? We call that confluence of signals. I like this long. So let me look at what I want to trade here, and I'm going to tell you. And I probably need to go faster, but that's okay. Okay, snip board. I'll show you I don't currently have a position. 160. Let's do a little options education while we're here. How about that? Okay, so this is CVX. So October 20th is the monthly options. You could do September 15th that expires in 15 days, or October that expires in 50 days. So when I am trading swing calls at least a month out, I like to do at least a 40 delta. You see this delta right here? So what I'm looking at is the 160 calls for October 20th. They're right now marking 550 to 560. Of course, when the market opens, this will change. But I would likely leg into these, and I like to use that word, leg into these, and I would do one entry. And then next week, if it gets a big pullback, another entry. If it loses support, I'm stopped out. Okay, so I'm looking at October 20th, 160 calls, and I'll mark them at open, write it down, and then we'll see at the end of September how this stock does, okay? Nat Gas, I don't have anything for you. Let's go to Apple. I lost my chat. I hope y'all are okay. Squeeze, Andrew. Squeeze, no, it doesn't mean MACD. That is a TTM squeeze. That's where the Keltner channels dip inside the Bollinger Bands. John Carter came up with this indicator, and it usually means pressure is building. Okay, let me go to my notes. Apple, weekly lower high anticipated, daily not quite over the 50 MA, 4 hour overbought. So you see we're right here, the daily 50 MA, we're just straddling it. We haven't cleared it. We are into the gap fill territory. Apple was the strongest name yesterday. They really loved that news about the new iPhone announcement coming September 12th. I am a much more comfortable bear up here than a bull, but I don't know that I'm going to short Apple in gap fill territory right here. We don't fill the gap to 190.43. So maybe if that gap were filled, I would then be looking potentially short. And that brings up another thing. God, I'm windy today. I'm interested in pinning plays, and I haven't been interested in pinning plays in a while. I'm looking at butterflies on Meta, on NVDA, so Meta 300. We have a lot of names at psychologically round numbers. And I'd even be interested in Apple at 190. And those pinning plays I typically do on monthlies, so that would be September 15th is our next monthly. So I would do it that week. But this week, the psychologically round numbers acting as a magnet and a target, I may be putting on some butterflies this week, and haven't done it in a while, but it struck me yesterday. It may be interesting trade. You're welcome, Andrew. All right, Amazon, potential top fish setup against the 825 high. So we have not gotten a daily higher high yet on Amazon. Weekly chart's fine. We're in an inside bar. I'm not going to trade this short. I'm just thinking through this. The daily 50 RSI is holding. I'm not trading this one short. So I go over these 4 names every morning, and I tell you if I find a setup or not. And these names are names that I like the setups in them specifically for today, this week, or this month. Okay, NVDA, $500 top fish level. Caution with that. It really depends on the market. So we have the 824 high of 502.66. We were unable to get over $500. I think you watch this name and you just put, let's do a red line. Okay, 500 psych. Okay, so that's our line in the sand right here, this $500 level. I think you short it if price is below it, as close as you can get to 500. If it pops above, I think you stop buy in at $500. Long above 500, short below. Let's keep it simple. And don't forget all your gap rules. If you have any name that are gapping up, you don't forget your gap rules. Okay, Tesla, super healthy daily chart. It has a squeeze on the hourly chart. It's going sideways, holding the EMA. We are right here at the daily 50 MA, right here. Our August 4th high is 264.77. It's super healthy. But I'm a more comfortable bear as we're pressing up on this daily 50 MA overhead. If ES gets over 45.45, this top fish idea is out the window. CMPS, Dan has been bringing this to your attention for a pretty long time. Look at this weekly squeeze on CMPS and this tightening pattern. And the daily has an EQ here. You could position yourself potentially long against 841, looking for a swing long because this daily has a squeeze. 4 hour has a squeeze. This is going to be an awesome name with an awesome pop. It also could fall apart, but either way, it should get followed through. CRM is a gap up name on earnings. What did I write? Earnings beat, potential for gap and go. Watch for stair step entry. Those pullback buys on the break a high, a low bar. Microsoft, potential laggard long. Look how it's squeezing here. It didn't have a big day in the sun. It only went up 0.12%. It broke this big downtrend line and maybe test the daily 50 MA. I don't know. A daily lower high is possible compared to 332.98. But if we can break above yesterday's high, I like it long. MSOS is a back burner watch. And Riot, potential long idea with this squeeze on the hourly chart, only if Bitcoin can get outside this daily inside bar. This will be a tough trade idea because we are totally dependent on Bitcoin shaping up in order for this idea to work. I'd love to try a long against 1188, looking for potential continuation, looking for the daily higher low on Bitcoin and the daily higher low on Riot. You're welcome. All right. Kelly, how do I do my pinning plays? Let's look at Meta and I'll go over it. I have 2 minutes and Denzi will be live. So this is what I would look at. Let me just do it. Meta. So for 295 buy a butterfly, I'll show you. All right. Where's my snip board? All right, so this is what it would look like. So a meta penning play would look like this, where you would buy the 295 calls, we're at the money right now, sell the middle strike, and then buy the 305 for protection up above. So it looks like that for risk to reward max profit and max loss. So it's like a 1 to 4 potential winner. And then let me show you what it looks like in more simplistic. So basically you're saying I want to put a trade on aiming for that $300. The closer it closes to $300, the closer you are to getting this max reward of $38.90. All right, that's it for me. Thank you for being here. TCGers, I'll have the notes to you in just a second. And let's see, where did Jason? I'm going to pin this Ask Me Anything with Lamont today at 5 p.m. No, 1 p.m. 3 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 3 p.m. Eastern. I said the wrong thing. Here's the link right here. Thank y'all for being here. Hit that like button. Give me a follow on Twitter at CharkOwLori and use stop losses.